Buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into a room bursting with those go-getter entrepreneur types.
Oh, yeah. All chasing that dream.
Exactly. We're breaking down a motivational speech, a real in-the-trenches talk,
Raw and energy.
and hopefully pulling out some golden nuggets of wisdom from all that hype. So, think of it this way.
It's like panning for gold, right? You got to sift through a lot of dirt to find the good stuff.
Totally. A room practically buzzing with, pure ambition. You ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so mission one. What's the core message this speaker is trying to drill into everyone's heads?
It's all about identity, which is kind of deep for a room full of, aspiring moguls.
Right. You'd think it'd be all about, marketing funnels.
The sales tactics.
Yeah, but no. He's like, hold up. None of that matters if you don't know who you are at your core.
He makes a good point, though. He even uses this analogy, compares it to planting a seed.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He's like, you can't just throw a seed down anywhere and expect it to blossom, can you? You need the right soil, the right amount of sunlight. You got to create the right conditions for it to thrive.
He's saying our success is kind of like that?
Exactly. And that whole right conditions thing, that's where he brings in this idea of the 75% rule.
75% rule. Okay, now you have to explain that one.
He's basically saying that only 25% of our success is actually within our direct control.
Whoa. That's a little unsettling, right? Only 25%.
It sounds scary at first, but bear with him. He's not saying we're powerless. It's more like he's saying that the other 75% comes from what he calls our internal and external contexts.
Okay, so what's all this about internal and external context then? It sounds kind of complicated.
It's not, actually. Your internal context is basically your mindset. Like your beliefs about yourself, what you think you deserve, your values.
It's like, are you showing up as the CEO of your own life? Or just like an intern?
Exactly. And then there's the external context. That's all the stuff happening around us.
Yeah.
The people we surround ourselves with, the opportunities we say yes or no to, even the information we consume.
So it's all about setting up your life to support that 25% you do have control over, right? Making it count.
Exactly. And you know what's cool? He ties this whole context thing back to the power of giving.
Okay, hold on. Giving. I thought we were talking about entrepreneurship here, not
Philanthropy.
Yeah. So what's the deal with giving?
It's not about writing checks, not exactly. He's talking about shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset.
Mindset shifts are my jam. Tell me more.
So instead of being all what's in it for me, it's more like what can I contribute? How can I add value?
And this guy, this speaker, he actually lives that way. He's not just talking the talk.
Oh, totally. He tells this story about how for years he was chasing success, obsessed with, getting more money.
The classic entrepreneur trap.
Right. But then he had this realization that he needed to flip the script. Instead of chasing after what he could get, he decided to focus on what he could give.
So what happened? Did this whole giving thing actually work?
He claims that as soon as he made that mindset shift, his business exploded. Doors just started opening.
Wow, okay. That's pretty convincing. So less chasing, more attracting. Is that what he's saying?
Exactly. And he connects this whole giving thing to another interesting point, visibility.
Okay, but he's not talking about, social media fame, right? Because that seems kind of surface level.
No, he's not advocating for becoming some kind of guru. He's more about owning your expertise, putting yourself and your work out there.
So it's like sharing your gifts with the world.
Precisely. And his argument is the more visible you are, the more opportunities will come your way.
Because the right people will find you.
Exactly. But he also acknowledges that putting yourself out there, it can be uncomfortable, really uncomfortable.
No kidding. Most people would rather, wrestle a bear than put themselves out there like that. So how does he suggest we deal with that whole fear factor?
He's a big believer in embracing discomfort. Really leaning into it.
That's a tough one for a lot of us. We're practically wired to avoid discomfort, It's like human nature.
I know, right? But he uses this analogy. I think you'll like this one. He compares it to playing a video game.
Okay, I'm listening. Big gamer over here.
He's like, think about it. When a video game gets harder, what does it mean?
It means you're about to level up. Bring on the boss battle.
Exactly. And that's how he views challenges in life. He sees them as opportunities for growth.
Instead of roadblocks.
Right. And you know how a lot of us are always waiting for the perfect time to go after what we want?
Oh, tell me about it. I'm the queen of perfect timing.
Well, he calls us out on that too. He's all about taking action, even when it feels scary.
He's like, stop waiting for the stars to align. Just go for it.
Right. Dive in and figure it out as you go.
So it's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about realizing that discomfort often comes with the territory.
Exactly. And he actually admits that he used to struggle with this too, especially when he was first starting out.
Oh, really? Mr. High Energy Motivational Speaker gets
Oh,
nervous.
yeah. He talks about how he used to get super nervous before giving speeches, like crippling self-doubt.
I never would have guessed. But I guess that makes him more relatable, you know? He's not some robot who's immune to fear.
Totally. And it makes his message even more powerful because he's speaking from experience. He's not just preaching from some ivory tower. He's been in the trenches.
Exactly. He gets it. And it seems like he really walks the walk when it comes to that whole inner game of success thing, too.
Oh, absolutely. He's a huge advocate for mindset work. In fact, he actually talked about how for years he was obsessed with learning all the strategies and tactics for success.
Oh, so he was that guy attending every seminar, reading every self-help book cover to cover.
Totally. But he realized that all that knowledge wasn't actually translating into the results he wanted.
So what was missing?
He realized that he'd been so focused on accumulating information that he hadn't actually stepped into the identity of a successful entrepreneur.
So it's not enough to just know the steps. You have to become the kind of person who naturally attracts success.
Precisely. He had to shift his self-image. He had to start seeing himself as the successful entrepreneur he wanted to be.
It's like that old saying, fake it till you make it.
Kinda, but it's more than just faking it. It's about aligning your inner world with your outer goals. It's about believing in yourself so deeply that it becomes your reality.
He's basically saying, you can have all the knowledge and strategies in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, it's not going to amount to much.
Exactly. And that's why I think this particular speech is so powerful because he emphasizes both the inner game and the outer game of success.
You know, after diving deep into the speech with you, I'm struck by his energy. He's not just delivering a speech, he's on a mission to empower people. You can really feel that passion.
Absolutely. And it's contagious. It makes you want to go out there and make things happen.
So, for anyone listening who's feeling that spark, what's the one thing you want them to remember from this deep dive?
I think the biggest takeaway is that success is an inside job. It starts with your mindset, your self-belief, your willingness to embrace discomfort and step into the most empowered version of yourself.
And to remember that you are capable of amazing things. This has been such a great deep dive. I'm feeling super inspired to go out there and create some magic. And to everyone listening, we believe in you.
We do. Now go out there and make it happen.